Ready in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And set, mark, action. Here we are with another review. Last Night in Soho is the newest Edgar Wright movie out in theaters now. This is his next film after directing the fantastic movie Baby Driver. One of the best parts of Baby Driver is the tone you get from the soundtrack, and Edgar Wright continues to deliver this great soundtrack after great soundtrack with this film. Last Night in Soho is no exception to this great soundtrack that Edgar Wright continues to deliver with all his movies. This movie is another great addition to the resume of Edgar Wright and stars Thomasin McKenzie, Anya Taylor-Joy, Matt Smith, Terence Stamp, Michael Ajao, and Diana Riggs. This movie is suspenseful and psychological, and it's a coming-of-age story of Ellie Turner in London. She rents a room in Soho to get away from her schoolmates and enjoy a nice, quiet life until she starts to embody Sandy, a nightclub singer from the 1960s. Ellie sees a vision of Sandy getting murdered in the room and has to put the pieces back together to find out who the killer is in present day. And then the movie has like a double twist kind of ending. The first one I saw coming out, and I give anything away, but it was something that you just know was going to happen based on just the previous scenes and how long they held one shot, and just the portrayal of someone in the past compared to the future. You kind of knew what was coming in the future eventually, and I was just waiting for it. It wasn't shocking at all. And then they just happened to flash back to that scene, and like we didn't know that it was him in the past, him in the future. It was just poorly done twist. But then there's a second twist in this that I was shocked by and I didn't see coming, and I really enjoyed, and it made up for that lousy first kind of twist of the movie. Now I have to give a shout out to Thomasin McKenzie and Michael Ajao. His performance, both of them give great performances. I think this is Michael's first film. He's not really listed as any other credits I found, but just their relationship was so beautiful, and so it grows with the movie and grows the plot and the tone of the movie and the theme of the movie along. It's just great. Mackenzie is delivering performance after great performance, starting with Leave No Trace, then going into Jojo Rabbit, Old. I loved her performance in this year, and this is another great performance that she gives. She's a very great up-and-coming actress who I see a lot of potential with, and hopefully an Oscar in her future as well. And I really related to this story as this person who is shy, who just wants to be in their own little bubble and get away from the loud, obnoxious people around them, which is what Ellie's trying to do in this movie, and just not fitting into these cliques and all that of life, and just wanting to do her own thing. I relate to that a lot, as I'm also a very shy person and just keep to myself and don't want to be kind of placed in that group. So it was just a great connection I had with the film, being able to relate to it on that aspect level. Last Night in Soho is beautifully shot too. It has great use of color, that neon light out on the outside of her bedroom turning red and blue and white. It's just a great kind of flash, and it's just connecting her to the past and the present together with this light, and the use of color throughout the movie. And also the use of mirrors were incredible. It's kind of like the portal between 60s and present day, and you see Ellie in the mirror sometimes, or Sandy in the mirror the other times, and just switch back and forth. And with that mirror, you kind of know who's kind of in control and who's moving along in the story at what uh, scene they're in. And then there's a great scene of the quick cuts of switching the two girls during the dancing scene in the club. It was great. It just shows great filmmaking by Edgar Wright. And it was just a great quick cut quick cut scene of the two girls switching and seeing their stories start interlacing and their personalities start interlacing and kind of becoming one with that scene. And this movie definitely has some horror aspects to it as well. There's creepy, unsettling ghosts with kind of blank, fuzzy faces that are just jarring and get stuck in your brain, just slowly following her and just stalking her. It was very, very scary, at least for me. And then there was also some few jump scares throughout the movie, which I typically don't like, but these were well placed, and I thought just help you stay alerted to the movie and focus on the movie more because of these jump scares that just come at you and then you're back focused in the movie. I really liked the few jump scares they had, and they had just enough for this movie, and a lot of other creepy, unsettling stuff along with it that keeps that horror element at a high throughout the whole movie. This movie also touches upon the mental health and kind of schizophrenia. It's kind of how they lean on here with her seeing stuff and her experiences of the 60s and present day. Again, it gets explained by schizophrenia, and it was a great way of showing that this stuff could be real or could all just be in her mind. We don't know as an audience, but it keeps us guessing with this schizophrenia plot point underneath the layer of this story, which I really liked. But part of the movie that just didn't work for me was the costume design. I thought it was just all right. She's trying to be a fashion designer, and I thought the clothes were a little underwhelming for her, what she's going to school for and what the movie could have shown. It didn't work for me, the clothes they used in here, and it felt dated, and it was dated, and they never brought it into the present day. She kind of just didn't even make it her own. She kind of just stole it from her dreams of the 1960s. And then the theme of this movie, there's probably multiple themes, but I think one of the big ones is just the perception of men and how scary, intimidating they can be, and how controlling they can be on someone's career who's just trying to get started, and break free, and what that does to the person and breaks them down. But in the end, not all men are like that, and some are great. Like Michael Ajao's character is just a good-hearted guy who wants to help Ellie and be there for Ellie and a good friend in the end. And that's kind of great to see both sides of that in this movie. And I really like the choice Edgar Wright made with that, and not having that character turn and be as disgusting as the other men in this film. Overall, this movie is really fantastic. I liked it all around. I'm gonna give it a 90 out of 100. So go check it out now in theaters. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll check you guys next time.